Game Kings, the definition of game, documentary, coming soon. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of being non-monogamous. All right, so, I've been getting people who hit me up all the time and they want to know about my open relationship and stuff like that. And so I wanted to do like a pros and cons of non-monogamy for those who are thinking about being non-monogamous, or those who are non-monogamous and just, want to know some of the cons and the pros if you don't know already. You feel what I'm saying? But first, let's talk about what is non-monogamy, right? So non-monogamy basically refers to, it's like the umbrella term for intimate relationships that don't adhere to the rules of monogamy. So basically, it's you being able to, have sex and, show affection to, and, date, have romantic relationships with more than one person. You feel what I'm saying? And so what I wanted to do with this video is just, break down some of the pros and cons and, talk about these things. All right. So for all you people out there who were curious or interested, I'm going to, let you know what's going down. All right. So I'm going to do the pros first and then I'm going to go to the cons. So the first pro that I have for being not, non-monogamous is that you can date multiple people. You understand what I'm saying? You can date multiple people. You can have sex with multiple people. There's a lot of variety there. You understand what I'm saying? And you actually, have a lot of different experiences because you are dealing with and interacting with different people. You understand? So the thing that I always loved about, being in an open relationship, and first of all, when we talk about non-monogamy, there's so many different types. You got open relationships, you got polyamory, you got, swingers, a bunch of different types of, like non-monogamous relationships. But what I love about being in a non-monogamous relationship is that variety, brings so many different experiences and a lot of things that I learned from dealing with different women. You feel what I'm saying? And so when you're in a non-monogamous relationship, you are able to date multiple people. So you can, let's say, have a girlfriend and then see another chick. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman, she could have a boyfriend and see another dude. You know what I mean? So the thing with non-monogamy is that when you're out here dating multiple people, you get to experience a lot of different things. So that's, one of the first pros, one of the obvious pros, I would say, when it comes to non-monogamy, right? So the second pro that I have here is that you have a network of people that you can rely on. Okay. So you have a network of people that you can rely on. And so, and basically what it is that you just have more people you can rely on. So for example, let's say, you have, 3 girlfriends, right? And y'all all live in the same spot, right? And so because it's you and 3 of them, y'all all could depend on each other. And let's say financially, y'all are all bringing in money to the crib. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not just your money, it's your money plus the 3 girls. So imagine y'all, each making 50 grand a year. You feel what I'm saying? So that's 200 grand between the 4 of y'all that y'all bring into the table that y'all could, do something with. Right. Another thing is, like, I remember there was a couple that I knew who was basically, they had it like it was the husband and the wife. They were, they had a boyfriend and a girlfriend. So it was a open marriage, and the husband had a girlfriend and the wife had a boyfriend. And so they had 3 kids, the husband and the wife. So what will happen is sometimes the husband and wife would go on vacation, and then their boyfriend and girlfriend would watch the kids. You feel what I'm saying? So, that's just another, level of it. But, it's shit like that goes down. You understand what I'm saying? So you're probably thinking, oh, but, somebody could just take the kids to their grandma's house. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But, again, you have more people that you can rely on. You understand what I'm saying? You got more of a network of people that you can deal with, right? So that's number 2. The third pro of being non-monogamous is if you find another non-monogamous person, right, the relationship is going to flow easier. It's going to be a little bit more of an easier flow in the relationship because they can relate to you because they are also non-monogamous. And I'm going to talk about, a little bit of that in the cons of like, people not being able to really relate to you in that sense of you being non-monogamous. But if you actually, find another non-monogamous person to be with, right, because they have that same lifestyle and, y'all sort of, may think, you understand, and move the same way, you and that person, it'll be an easier flow in the situation. It's not to say the relationship's going to be easy, but what I'm saying is that it's way easier if you're non-monogamous to also date somebody else who is non-monogamous. You feel what I'm saying? And, depending on what the specific type of relationship it is, it's going to depend on how well you guys, work together in that situation, right? So those are some of the pros. Now I'm going to get to some of these cons. So the first thing I got here is jealousy. So, a lot of times what will happen is when you're in this non-monogamous, lifestyle, right? There can be a lot of jealousy because, if your girl is seeing another dude, you might get jealous about that. Or if a girl has a boyfriend and he's seeing another chick, she might get jealous about that. You see what I'm saying? And, jealousy also happens, of course, in monogamous relationships too. But because, people are actively going out there to be with other people, right? Then it sort of lends itself to people being jealous, like in more consistently. Now, the thing is, I always get asked, they're like, oh, aren't you scared your wife's going to leave you? You scared your girl's going to leave you and all this other stuff? And, I always look at it like, a person in a monogamous relationship, could leave you too. So I don't really look at it that crazy. But also even asking that question a lot of times is really more of what happens when people have like a monogamous mindset. Because the thing is, when you're in a non-monogamous relationship, the person doesn't have to leave you because they can just add the person on to the situation. You feel what I'm saying? So if my wife or girl meets some other dude, she don't have to leave me for him. She can just see him, and vice versa. If I meet a woman that I like, I don't have to leave my wife or my girl. I can just see the other chick. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, right? But, jealousy is still going to actually be there, right? Now, the second con, and I fucking hate this fucking shit. Oh, my goodness. The second con is monogamous-minded people will use you. Okay? Monogamous-minded people will use you. Now, let me break this down. So what will happen is that if you're non-monogamous, right, and you're out there dating, you're out there interacting with people, right, and let's say you're a non-monogamous person, and you have, a partner. So, let's say a woman who has a boyfriend or, a guy who has a girlfriend or whatever, right? So let's say you have somebody. Let's say you have a girlfriend, right? And so what will happen is that you'll meet a monogamous person and they'll date you and they'll interact with you. But what they're doing is that they're using you. So what they're doing is that they are sort of using you as an in-between person between relationships. So let's say, for example, you have like let's say you meet a chick, right? You're non-monogamous, you have a girlfriend, and you meet this other girl, right? And let's say this other girl's name is Tiffany, right? Now, Tiffany has a monogamous mindset, right? So Tiffany just broke up with her boyfriend 2 months ago. So then she meets you, you feel what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, you're non-monogamous. That's cool, right? And then so she likes you and she starts to see you and y'all get together and everything is cool. But the only reason Tiffany's dealing with you is because she's, buying time until she finds another monogamous relationship to be in. So what she's doing is that she's getting with you and spending time with you until she finds another guy to be in a monogamous relationship with. Now, see, that within itself is not really that bad if she states that is her intention. Like if she meets you and she says, hey, listen, I'm not really into the non-monogamy thing, but you cool and all, so we could definitely get together and hang out and kick it, hook up and like have some fun. But I'm actually looking for a monogamous situation, right? Now, if you agree to that, that's all good. But that's not what a lot of monogamous people will do in these situations. What they'll do is that they will act like they want to be with you as someone, as a serious thing sometimes, meaning that, you'll meet this girl, Tiffany, and she'll, want to be your girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? Or she will be your girlfriend. But all the while in the back of her head, she's only being your girlfriend because for right now, she has no other option for a monogamous guy. You understand what I'm saying? But as soon as she meets a guy who may want to be in a monogamous relationship with her, she will drop you. You understand what I'm saying? Guys do this shit too. A guy will meet with a girl who's non-monogamous, and off the bat, he's not taking her seriously. You see what I'm saying? So he's like, well, I'm just going to use her to until I find a woman who I can see as my girlfriend. And the reason why monogamous people usually will do this is because there's some monogamous people who they don't take non-monogamy seriously. Like they're like, oh, well, this is not a real relationship. You understand? Or let's say, I'm looking for a regular relationship because, to them, non-monogamy is irregular. You feel what I'm saying? And so they'll be in a situation and they'll just use you. Like, I hate that shit. I've had that shit done to me where it's like the person will, they'll be there, all the emotions are there and everything, but they still have sort of 1 foot out the door. You understand what I'm saying? They're waiting for someone to show up, and then once they secure that, they bounce. You see what I'm saying? So, again, it's one thing if the person states, hey, I'm just here for the time being, but it's another thing when the person is interacting with you in the relationship as if this is something substantial, and then they, in the back of their head, they're just waiting for, the monogamous person to show up so they can bounce. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who will do that shit. It kind of reminds me of like when, it's not the same thing, but it kind of reminds me of like, when a person is in a relationship with someone and they're not really invested or whatever, but they're just staying there until they line up another relationship. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you have a chick who is with you and she's sort of emotionally checked out or whatever, and she's like finding a new dude. I know dudes call it like hypergamy or some shit like that, or no, monkey branching. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll wait until they got the new shit lined up and then dump you and then drop you. Like, I have zero respect for people who do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Zero. You understand? But like I was saying, the con of, being non-monogamous is that you are going to have a lot of monogamous people who will use you. You understand? Because they don't respect non-monogamy in the first place. So you might have, let's say you have a woman who has a boyfriend, right? And she's seeing another guy, and let's say that guy and her end up, liking each other, and they start seeing each other for a long period of time. You understand what I'm saying? And then what could happen is that new guy could end up being her second boyfriend. You feel what I'm saying? But then what'll happen is that the second boyfriend, he's not really taking it seriously, but he's still like there, and he's still, interacting with her. The emotions are still there, and everything, right? But what'll happen is, as soon as another woman comes along where he feels he can have that monogamous relationship with her, he'll bounce. You feel what I'm saying? So he was using that girl the whole time, even though it may seem like as if he was emotionally invested in all this other shit. Because the thing is, he could be emotionally invested, but as soon as that monogamous person comes around, it's like, oh, well, I'm really monogamous, so I'm just gonna leave you now. Goodbye. That's how it works, right? So that's the second kind I have. Now, the third kind I have, and I mean, this sort of kind of goes with the second one, but people will only think that you're interested in casual sex. So people only think that you're interested in casual sex. So I get this a lot where, I'll be on Tinder sometimes, or I've been on other dating sites or whatever, and the chicks will text me, and they'll be like, so I read your profile, and you're in an open relationship, so I'm assuming that, you only want a one night stand. And I'm like, it's not saying me personally, a one night stand's cool, but it's just funny how that's the assumption. You feel what I'm saying? All the time, where it's like, well, you are non-monogamous, and again, I can't take you seriously because this is not going to go anywhere, because it's, this is not a real relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So you're just here for me to have sex with. And I know for some of you guys, that sounds cool. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. What the fuck are you complaining about, this little Cario, right? But what happens is that, like I say, for example, when I met my girlfriend, right? When we first met, and we went out on our first date, and I was like, yo, I'm really feeling this chick. You feel what I'm saying? Like I like this chick. And then we started seeing each other, and we started seeing each other on a continuous basis, right? And so when I was dealing with her, and and I'm having situations where I actually want to keep seeing her, and I like being with her, and I like being around her, and I'm like, I want her to be in my life. It would suck if she was like, well, your relationship's not a real relationship. We're just going to have casual sex, and I'm good. You understand what I'm saying? Because then I'm missing out on that relationship that, was which is a good thing that I'm having right now. You see what I'm saying? But so that's the thing, is that sometimes you may want more shit going on, right? But because they think you only want casual sex because you're non-monogamous, that's how they're going to come at you. And this definitely happens, especially for women who are non-monogamous, because, again, the guys, they're not really going to take it seriously a lot of times, in most cases. You see what I'm saying? So for a woman, a lot of times when a dude finds out she's non-monogamous, he's like, oh, well, this is just a fuck thing, because, he's like, I'm not going to wife that up. You feel what I'm saying? Or I'm not going to take this seriously. So, that's what happens out here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for right now. Listen, if you guys have any questions, click the link below, and I'll holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. Now, before you go, make sure you click the link below to get your free copy of the audio program, Undeniable Game. This program is going to teach you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. In this audio program, you'll learn exactly what you need to do to become that confident man women are attracted to. You'll also learn what you must do to become better at approaching and talking to women. You'll learn why women don't return your calls and what to do to increase the chances of women returning your calls. You'll also learn the only time you should call or text a woman. You'll learn how to start conversations with women. You'll learn the mindset you must have to be successful with women. You'll also learn the main thing you need to do to figure out if a woman is really interested in you, and much more. So make sure you click the link below to get your copy today.